If you want to feel fear, just read these scary stories. We have collected top stories that will make your blood freeze in your veins. Do you hear the screams? Horror sometimes can touch us in the most unexpected moments. And what's even more amazing is how our brain tries to trick us, playing tricks on our minds and making us believe in things that aren't really there. This happened to Miriam Black from New Zealand when she was at home alone. One day she heard some noises that made her skin crawl. Since then, her life has been nothing but terrifying. What did this woman hear that was so traumatizing? Let's find out. Miriam says that she always loved living in her house with her family, but one day everything changed. It all started when she heard footsteps behind her. She had tried to ignore them, but they were getting louder and louder. When she turned around, she saw no one. Then she heard whispers and other noises, but every time she turned around, there was no one there. She thought that maybe it was a figment of her imagination, but then the voices started talking to her, telling her to leave the house, or that they were coming for her. She told her husband about it, but he just laughed it off, said that she was just overthinking and that nothing was wrong. So she tried to distract herself by watching TV or listening to music. But no matter what she did, the whispers followed her. They would say things like, "Leave this place. You should have left a long time ago. We're coming for you." Which made Miriam feel uneasy. One night, Miriam couldn't take it anymore. The voices were too loud, and she was too scared to stay in the house. So she called her neighbor and asked if she could stay over for a few days until things calmed down. But then something strange happened. The moment she stepped into her neighbor's house, the voices stopped. She thought that maybe she had imagined the whole thing. But then the next day came around. She went back home, and the voices started again. She tried to call the police, but when they came over, they couldn't hear anything. So they just gave her some medication and told her to rest. But Miriam knew that something was wrong. She didn't know what to do. So she decided to move out and stay in a hotel. When she got to the hotel room, she felt a little bit better. She finally felt like she was safe. But then the voices started again. They were coming from inside the closet. She was so scared that she didn't even bother calling the police again. Instead, she stayed in the bathroom all night, hugging the toilet. In the morning, when she opened the closet, she found a pile of dirty clothes. But she knew that she was the only person in the room. She didn't know who had put them there. She was so scared that she called her neighbor again and asked if she could stay for a few more days. But the neighbor was going away for the weekend. So Miriam was on her own again. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know who was behind the whispering. She was so scared that she started seeing things. She saw shadows moving in the corner of her eye. She heard footsteps behind her. She felt like she was being watched all the time. She was so scared that she couldn't sleep. She spent the whole night crying, hugging the toilet. In the morning, she went to the closet again and opened it. But everything seemed fine. There was nothing there. She called the police again, but they couldn't find anything. They told her that she needed help and took her to the hospital. The hospital, she told the doctors everything that had happened. They examined her and told her that she had anxiety. They gave her medicine and let her go. But Miriam knew that something was wrong. She didn't want to believe that she was crazy. She wanted to find out what was behind the whispering. So she started researching online. She read about different types of anxiety and found out that she might have a rare form called auditory hallucination. This is a condition where people can hear things that are not real. It can be caused by stress or trauma, but it can also be a symptom of an underlying medical condition. Miriam was so relieved to find out that there was a medical explanation for what she was going through, but it didn't make the whispering stop. She continued to hear voices following her around, whispering terrible things in her ear. She became so tired of it all that she moved into a different city. She hoped that if she changed environments, the voices would finally go away, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The voices followed her everywhere. They were always there, whispering their horrible things. Miriam was desperate. She didn't know what else to do. She had tried everything she could think of to make the voices go away, but nothing worked. She was starting to lose hope. She thought that she would never be free of the voices. She thought that she would have to live like this forever. But then she met someone who gave her hope again. She found a therapist who specialized in treating people with auditory hallucinations. He used a combination of therapy and medication to help Miriam cope with her condition. It was a long and difficult process, but slowly but surely, Miriam started to feel better. The voices didn't go away completely, but she learned how to manage them. She learned how to control her anxiety and reduce the frequency and intensity of the hallucinations. Today, Miriam is doing well. She still hears voices from time to time, but she knows how to deal with them now. She knows that she's not alone. She has support, and she knows that she can get help if she needs it. Some people may not believe Miriam's story, but auditory hallucinations are a real condition that affects real people. It's important to remember that everyone's experience is valid, and that no one should ever be ashamed of seeking help for mental health issues. If you or someone you know is struggling with auditory hallucinations or any other mental health issue, please reach out for help. There is hope, and recovery is possible. Now check out the next video. Your worst nightmare. Part 2. A girl woke up in the middle of the night and had the most horrifying realization.